everyone, Miss Trenchcoat here, and today I have another book review and we're going to be talking about The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So I'm sure you've seen this book. It's been getting so much critical acclaim over like the last year. It's everywhere, and I basically succumbed to that feeling of having to read fiction and succumbed to the beautifulness of the cover and all of the wonderful things that everyone's saying about this book. So I picked it up finally, and I picked it up in an actual book form, which is odd for me, but I've been reading these regular paperback books recently. It's like I kind of want to have like a physical representation of these books that I've kind of been just like wiping through instead of my ebooks. I don't know, it's been weird. So yeah, I picked this one up while I was at Target, and I think it's beautiful. The cover is lovely. And this book, we're gonna have to get into it. As usual, I'm going to give you a summary of the book, and then I'm going to tell you what I think about it. So, to summarize this book, it is basically about these two magicians, we'll call them, who have real magical powers, the ability to manipulate the world around them, and they have engaged in a game of sorts that they have clearly engaged in before in the past. And the game involves them training up a young child to basically participate in a magical game of chess. Not really chess, but theoretically, in a sense of metaphorically speaking, they are going to kind of use their magic to affect the world, and whoever lasts the longest wins. So basically, there are these two magicians. One of them's name is Alexander. They call him AH, are his initials that they like to use, and he's clearly a little bit older and a little bit more refined. He's almost like a socialite sort of a magician, and very private, and you really don't see very much of him or hear very much of him in the book. And the second magician that you see much more of is Prospero, and Prospero actually starts this whole thing. He initiates the entire game because he has recently acquired a child who is his daughter. And I guess he had impregnated a woman, and the woman went crazy and killed herself and left him the daughter. So his daughter's name is Celia, and she comes to live with him, and he immediately notices that she has her father's incredible gift as well, and he believes her powers are so strong that she could not be beat in this magical game of chess and chance that we're going to call it, because it really has no name. Battle to the Death, Magic Edition. That's what we can call that. So basically, he raises up Cecilia to become this magician in his style. He actually is a real magician, like IRL. Like, that's what his job is. He goes around and travels and puts on this show that amazes people. And obviously, it amazes them more than any other magician they've ever seen, because he's actually using real magic. Now, people don't know that it's real magic. They all assume it's like, you know, David Copperfield sort of stuff. And I mean, David Copperfield, like the current modern magician, not David Copperfield, the novel by Charles Dickens. Okay, so let's not get those two confused. But yeah, he is thought of just to be like a really great magician, like, you know, illusionist, but in reality, he's using real magic. So he is very popular. And the other, Alexander, finds basically an orphan boy that is unnamed until he chooses a name for himself, which is Marco. And basically, Alexander raises this kid like in his style of wealth and aristocracy, I should say, and very high society. The boy is basically alienated from the world and like sent to read and study 24 hours a day, pretty much. And he learns magic in a much deeper way from like ancient alchemical texts and different things like that. Whereas Celia learns her magic from her father, which is very like commonplace magic and very theatrical and very powerful. So she's able to do some pretty amazing things like heal her own wounds and things like that. So eventually they come of age, and the idea is that they've the two magicians, we'll say the older magicians have picked, we'll say the teachers have picked a kind of arena for them. They have a common, I guess one of them, Prospero, has worked with this sort of stage manager, sort of production artist man in the past. His name is Chandresh, and Chandresh basically one day gets this idea that comes out of nowhere to create this amazing circus that is of the likes no one's ever seen before, and it's called Le Cirque de Rêve, which means the Circus of Dreams. And it's basically this circus that only runs at night. So it runs from sundown to sunup, and it's filled with so many amazing magical things that are, a lot of them in and of themselves are real magic. And the population doesn't know that, but it's a very alluring sort of a kind of event that comes on, this circus that travels around the world. So obviously Celia gets involved, and she becomes basically their lead illusionist, and she is basically a main attraction at the night circus. And Marco ends up becoming Chandresh's assistant. So he doesn't actually work in the actual circus per se, but he kind of monitors it and runs it from afar. He stays in London while it travels all over the world, and sometimes he goes to meet it, but for the most part he stays in London and acts as this kind of like third party for Chandresh. So basically what ends up happening is that both of them contribute to the circus, and as they contribute, basically more and more wonderful things happen, and of course they fall in love. And then they find out that their game is fatal, that the winner will be announced once one is dead. Don't think I'm giving away too much with that, because I'm pretty sure everyone already kind of knew that when you read the book. It's like, yeah, someone's gonna die in order for this game to win. I hope I didn't just ruin that for anyone who's maybe reading it. Sorry about that. So yeah, one of them has to die. So basically what ends up happening is they are like, crap, we can't stop playing the game because they're bound to it. And they love each other, so they don't want the other one to die. But don't worry, wonderful things happen in the end, and they find a loophole. So the story is wonderful. That was my summary. Now I'm getting into how I feel about it. And this book was amazing. Amazing. If you love sort of supernaturally wonderful, amazing stories, this is what you want to read, okay? So it's all about like a magician's magic, real magic. Nothing crazy like werewolves and vampires, but it is very much a very alluring sort of paranormal sort of novel, and it just was absolutely so well written. I love how the novel is actually broken into, I think, 4 sections, and within them they basically have almost like diary entry style kind of narration, or different points of view from different characters, which is really an amazing way to write. I absolutely love the way Erin Morgenstern wrote this. It's so engaging. You don't feel like you're reading the same thing continuously. You jump in and out of people's point of views per section, I would say, like per little individual chapter that are actually, they're all dated and stuff like that. So let me see if I can see what it says. This one here says the Entreaty, Concord, Massachusetts, October 30th, 1902. That's how they're all laid out. They've got like a title, then they say like the location, if there's a location, and the month and year and date, if they possibly can get that specific. Some of them are just general months, but that is what this book, how this book is laid out, and it's just so well done. And I just love how not only do you have the point of view of the magicians and then actually the 2 players, but all of the people around them in the circus as well. And it's just a really magical book. There's nothing else I could say about it. It's actually truly magical, and in my heart of hearts inside, there's nothing more that I want than to visit the night circus. I know it does not exist, but I'm pretty sure if Walt Disney World Company gets together, they could create this. You could, Disney, I hope you're listening to me, create the night circus. I don't know, buy it out from this girl, Erin Morgenstern, and turn it into a real circus. Turn it into its own theme park. I would totally go. Everyone would totally go. You should do this. Listen to me. I hope that everyone knows Disney, just send it to them. Just, if you know someone who works there, just send it to them. Send them this book and tell them that they really need to like buy the rights to it and make it a theme park, because this is amazing and magical. And I really think it could be done in real life. I really think it could. Every time as I was reading, I was thinking to myself, wow, Disney could do this. They could make this their own little world. They could have these different millions of tents. It's like almost, you know, that magical feeling you get when you go to Disney World? That's the feeling you get from reading this book. So I'm just saying. So that's my review. A little bit crazy, I know, but it's me, so of course it's a little bit crazy. Absolutely love this book. Go out and buy it. Absolutely right now. Don't stop what you're doing, just go and buy it. Loved it. That's all I have to say. Okay, so if you guys read this book and loved it, put it in the comments and like, and obviously all those wonderful things. Tell me what you thought about the book. If you didn't like it, tell me what you didn't like it about it. I mean, I loved it. So I would love to see someone or talk to someone who did not like it, because I could not imagine there's a person that exists like that, but I'm pretty sure there must be because it's the world and there's nothing that everyone loves in the world. So tell me what you thought about the book. And of course, subscribe, people. Everyone leaves me comments about how wonderful my videos are, but you know what? You guys have to subscribe. That's the way you tell me you love me, is through subscriptions, and I'll make you all these videos. And of course, let me know what you want. I will give you what you want. So subscribe. Get the button right down there, right now. Click it. We'll be good, okay? See you guys in the next video.